So I want to do like a little update for you guys. I haven't been making videos in a while, but I just want to say that I'm back, and since I'm not working anymore, I am going to be making more videos. A lot more content is coming, and I hope you guys are ready for what's going to come.
I bet you have questions, like where did I come from? I know I come from that planet.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video on Target. As you can tell, I'm exposing the Target in my city. I'm not going to say what city I'm in, but I am in California. And this just got me so mad. I wanted to do this video for a really long time, and I was only working there for a month. I have my notes right here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. I tried filming this video before, but I just kept going all over the place, and I decided to write it down. And something pissed me off today that made me, I want to make that video right now. So let's just get into it. So I applied, I think last month or 2 months ago, and the application process went really fast. It was really cool, actually. I was like, okay, this Target's gonna be great. So I told my leader, because I work in the apparel section, I said during my interview, because she interviewed me, she asked me if I had any upcoming vacations. So I said, yeah, I'm going on vacation from here to here. So she was like, okay, cool. So keep that in mind. I already scheduled my vacation days, and I just took my vacation last week. So the first week that I started, on Tuesday, my leader called me and said, oh, is it okay if we schedule your hours differently? Can we have you come in at 3:30 instead of 9? And I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. So she scheduled my hours differently from the other two trainees that were there. So on Friday, I come in, 3:20, and I clock in, and it said that I was late. So I went to the people at the desk and I said, hey, it's saying that I'm late. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not late. And they were like, what time are you supposed to be here? And I said 3:30. And they were like, oh, it says you're supposed to be here at 9. And I said no, because my leader told me to come in at 3:30, so that's when I'm coming in. So they said, okay, no big deal, we'll fix it. So apparently they got it fixed. Then I had to meet with my trainer. We're gonna call him Rick. We're gonna call my trainer for the day Rick. He was no help at all. He was shaped like Larry the Lobster. That's pretty much all I can say right now about him. He was just no help at all. So first he brought me into the room with the electronics, and that's where we have the our little phones for the scanning devices and to look up items that the customers might want or want to find out how much they are, and those are called the My Devices. And he didn't show me how to work it. I didn't even know the password to it, so I never used one. And the walkie-talkie told me to grab one, sign out, and that was it. And I didn't know, this is gonna sound kind of dumb, but I didn't know how to use the walkie-talkie. I didn't know like what codes to say and stuff. I didn't know which channel to be on, nothing. He didn't say anything about it. So we walk out and he says, did you get your register training? And I said no. And he was telling me that everyone needs to have their register training. And I said, well, that's not what it says on my paper. This is my paper. This is the time. This was my time. It originally says 4 to 8. Oh my gosh. I don't even remember this. But I was supposed to be working 4 to 8 with my trainer. And my topic is apparel. There was nothing about the cashier training, nothing. I was only supposed to work 4 hours, but I ended up working 8 hours. So he brings me to the LOD, which is the leader of the day, and we're gonna call him Frank. So Frank, Rick introduced me to Frank, and he said, you were supposed to be here at 9. And I said, no, I wasn't. He said, yeah, you are. You're really late. We were expecting you this morning. And the reason why Rick was trying to get rid of me was because I think he was going on break or something. I don't know. But I wasn't scheduled to be with him, whatever that was supposed to mean, because I got my hours changed. Frank said no, you were supposed to be here earlier and you're late. And I said, no, I'm not late. My manager told me to come here at 3:30, so that's when I came here. I'm not going to be coming in here early. And I wasn't, first of all, you've seen my schedule. I wasn't supposed to be here at 9 in the first place. I was supposed to be here at 4 to 8. But now I'm working 3:30 to 10:45. Yeah, Frank and I were actually going back and forth. I was really like arguing with him because he kept telling me I was late when I wasn't late. And he just kept saying I was late, and you know, I was defending myself saying that I wasn't. And he introduced me to this one other lady who was more powerful than Frank, and she said, okay, you know, no big deal, you know, we can just get you on your register training for your first 4 hours, and your next 4 hours you just go to the payroll with Rick. I was like, okay, you know what, whatever. I didn't sign up to be a cashier, okay, but so I did that. But since I didn't have a set person, I was literally getting bounced around for the whole 4 hours. I was with one girl for 1 hour, the second girl for about 20 minutes, the third person, I was with him for about an hour, and then the other person, I was with him for the rest of the time. I was with him for the rest of it. So I went to like 4 or 5 people in 4 hours, and that was so exhausting for me. And one of the times because for the first hour and a half, I was just watching people, and I mean, I was just watching the people who were the cashiers. I was just watching them, you know, observing everything, bagging, you know, that was fine. But when I got to actually do the register, there was one thing I didn't know how to do, and it was the gift cards. I didn't know how to activate the gift cards and, you know, stuff like that, because no one taught me how to do that. No one taught me how to do anything. They literally just put me in. And when I was watching the cashiers, they were just, you know, doing it, not even talking, just doing their job. And so one time, the guy who was watching me stepped away for a minute because he had to go handle something at guest services. And so I didn't know how to do something, and I turned around to one of the guys and I was like, hey, can you help me? I don't know how to do this. He said, figure it out yourself. I was like, all right, bet. So I explained to the customer, I was like, hey, you know, this is my first day, I'm training right now. The guy left me, and I'm so happy that that person was like very understanding about it. She said, it's okay, you know, take your time, I'm not in a rush. And I was like, okay, thank you for understanding. And the guy came back and helped me out. So after I finished my cashier training, I went to lunch and I went to meet Rick in the fitting room. And you know, he was just folding clothes, and he said, you know, it's actually kind of busy in here, I'm gonna have you go with someone else. So I go to someone else, I'm gonna call him Jake. So I went to Jake, and he just said, yeah, this is what you do, that's pretty much it. And he like told me what I needed to do, and I was like, okay, like, thanks. He was like the most understanding person that day. So I was just on my own for the rest of the 4 hours, and that was my first day at the job, which was terrible. So my second day of the job, I was with another trainer. We're gonna call her Kate. And Kate, you know, she was cool. And I was with another trainee who's my age, and we're just gonna call her Square because her name sounds like mine and we're like the same person. And people were getting us mixed up a lot. So I was asking Square, I was like, hey, how was your first day yesterday? You know, how many hours did you work? Like, blah, blah, blah. I was just trying to compare her day to mine. And she said she worked 4 hours. She did 2 hours of register training and 2 hours of apparel. She knew everything that Kate was talking about. She actually worked with Kate yesterday, the day before. So I knew nothing, and when Kate was giving us like a tour around the store and like our clothing area, I had no idea what she was talking about. I told her that I was supposed to be with Rick yesterday, but I was getting bounced around and I closed. Like, on their first day, who's a trainee who closes on their first day? Like, and how come I was the only one who had 7.5 hours? You know what I'm trying to say? So after a while, I think I worked 8 hours that day. Again, when Square only had, I think, 5 hours or 6. She Kate introduced me to one of the co-workers who work in the fitting room, and we're gonna call her Attitude because she has a bad attitude. So she introduced us, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm blah blah blah, and I reached out for her hand, and the whole time she was looking the other way. She was like this. And Kate was saying, yeah, you know, she might give you the cold shoulder for like a couple months, but she's like really nice. And I was like, I don't care, like I'm not here to make friends. That same day I was in the fitting room because Kate went to lunch and she said wait for me to come back, so I was just chilling in the fitting room for her to come back. And the fitting room was like kind of small, where like we get to hang out at. It's not really hang out, but where we get to be away from the customers. So there's like a door and there's like a back room, and so the door, you know, got to push the carts through and stuff. But I was just standing like, not even, how do I explain this, I wasn't even standing like underneath the door, I was standing on the wall next to the door. So she wanted, Rude wanted to walk, or Attitude, whatever her name is, Attitude wanted to walk by, but I was in her way, and she was just standing there, and I was just on my phone, you know, chilling, doing whatever. And she goes, you see me standing here? And I said, and she was like, move. And I said, no, I'm not gonna move, you need to ask me nicely. And she said, obviously if you see someone standing here, the best thing to do is move. I said, I'm not gonna move until you ask me to move. And then Jake, who was in there, he said, hey, did you go to lunch yet? And he was talking to me, and I was like, no. And he said, do you want to go to lunch right now? And I was like, I'm fine. He was like, no, like I think you should go get lunch right now. So I went to go get lunch, and she wasn't there when I came back, so whatever. And that was my second day. So another day I was being trained by Frank, as you remember, the one in the beginning who I got into an argument with. And this day got me so annoyed because I closed this day, and this was my last day before my vacation. Actually, I just got back from my vacation 2 days ago, so I was the only one still being trained, which is complete bullshit, because why am I the only one still being trained if like I have more hours than the other two girls? Which is true, I do have more hours than both of them. So he had me doing his work. I was supposed to be in the, what was that? I was supposed to be in the kids, no, I was supposed to be in the shoes and in the men's department that whole day. And he had me doing his work, so I was doing stuff that wasn't even supposed to be mine. I was in like the women's, I was in the kids, I was in the lingerie. And one time he just completely left me, and I didn't know what to do. And the cart that we were both working on together was his, that wasn't mine. So you know, I left it there. That's not my thing. So I went to the men's, and I was working on the shoes the whole time, and I hear my name on the walkie-talkie, and they're like, and my leader said, Brittany, come in, Brittany. And I was like, what? And she said, you need to get your cart out of men's. And I said, that was Frank's. And she said, you guys are working on it together, he's not here anymore, you need to go get it. And so I got it, I brought it back, you know, whatever. So basically he had me doing his stuff the whole day, okay? And then I was working in the shoes, and the shoes is on the whole other side of the women's department, the lingerie department, the kids department. And I was like, they knew I was busy in shoes, but there needed to be a pickup in lingerie because I guess it was messy. I hear someone say on the walkie-talkie, can someone do a pickup in lingerie, blah blah blah. And I hear my leader say, oh, I'll ask Brittany to do it. Like, I'm busy with the shoes, you guys are way closer. There's like 5 people over there in the fitting room and in the women's side who don't really do anything. Like, why can't you do the pickup? So I did the pickup, and guess what I found in one of the underwear drawers? There was a steak knife in there. So that was like, all right, you know, this gotta go, this is done. I found a steak knife in the underwear drawers, and you know, I told them, and they were like, okay, like what do we do, like blah blah blah. So they discussed it amongst themselves. So recently, which is today. So I took today off because I'm still tired from my trip and I have stuff to do today. So like I said, I took my vacation, you know, I already called off and stuff. And so I called off earlier today before my shift. I called off around 10 and my shift doesn't start till 3:30. But so I called and I said, hey, you know, I'm not gonna make it today, I have stuff to do. And the lady goes, I wrote it down right here what she said. She said, you need to be more careful of your time. You were gone a whole week with no warning. I said, now it's not my fault that HR didn't put it in the system when I already told my LOD that I wasn't gonna be there like weeks, like months prior to my vacation. And on my app, on the scheduling app, it said that I was working the days that I was gone. So I told my LOD that, like, how come it says I'm scheduled for these days, you know, I'm not gonna be here. She said, oh, you scheduled the time during your interview, right? And I said, yes. She said, okay, yeah, I'll talk to HR about it, they just didn't put it in the system yet. So I was like, okay, cool. So I talked with her many times and she said, okay, she'll handle it. So I said my LOD knew, so I don't know what the whole problem is. It's not my fault that you guys didn't put it in the system. You guys need to pick up your work. She had the phone and she said, okay, fine, bye, and hung up. I was like, this is how you guys treat your workers? This is how you treat your workers? Like, really? This is just some side note stuff. The place, super dirty. I mean, it's dirty where I don't even know how rats aren't crawling everywhere in the back room, okay? They have so when you walk in, there's like these lockers here. I don't know how the lockers are because I never use them, but there's shelves there with water bottles, soda cans, juice bottles with still liquid inside of them. There's napkins, paper towels, baby wipes, like all in the shelves, and the shelves aren't even that big. And then when you go into the like the actual break room, there's like splatter of food on the tables, in the microwave, on the counter. The fridge has like weeks worth of food and like old weeks food old weeks food. I don't know if that makes sense what I just said, but you guys know what I'm saying. And they told me on our orientation day, like, if you're gonna put food in the fridge, have your name and the date written down on your food, you know, like on a post-it or whatever. And they were supposed to throw the old stuff away, but that is just so gross. Okay, like I said, they're rude. They're rude to us. They're rude to the customers. One time, the girl in the fitting room who pretended like I was invisible attitude, she was dealing with a customer, and you're supposed to make sure that they have 10 items with them because they can't bring more than 10 items with them into the room. And the lady didn't know, she was foreign, and she was gonna go to one of the rooms, and she said, can you hold up, I need to count you off first. And she was like, I don't know why you're trying to go away so fast. And like, that was just so rude. And then when some customers ask for help, they're just like, yeah, over there, somewhere over there, I don't know, it's over there. Oh, go to that aisle. Okay, well, someone should go over there with you. Like, they're just really rude people. And like when you're on the floor, they all try to act nice, but when you go back to the room, like they'll walk past you like they don't even know you. And I don't know how it is in other workplaces, but this one, I just know it's not right. Okay, another one is that they're not organized at all. Like, this is the most disorganized place I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, except for they're not organized at all. Like, I can't really speak on it, but they're just not organized. That's all I could say. They're not really helpful there. You know, like I said, on my first day, I asked for help, but they didn't give me any help. They didn't tell me the codes to use if I need to call security. They didn't tell me what I need to say when I need to go on break or lunch, or when I need someone to cover for me. They didn't tell me which channel to use on the walkie-talkie. They didn't show me how to use the little phone device. They didn't tell me the password. So they just weren't helpful at all. When I asked for help, they didn't give it to me. I don't know if it's because I'm black or just because that's how they are over there, but that's not how a workplace should be. And they, like I said before, they have bad attitudes towards everyone, towards the customers, towards the workers, like everyone. So I just can't deal with it anymore. I'm actually quitting real soon. I am gonna submit in my resignation letter. Like, this was my first job, but, well, my first like official job, if you can say that, if you know me. But I don't think that this was the right choice for me. This job was nothing that I expected it to be. You know, they try to talk to me any type of way that they want, but I let them know real quick that they can't do that to me. And yeah, it's not, I don't need that job. I'm not like them. I don't need that job to survive. You know, I don't need to be working a, 9 to 5, 4 to 10 shift just to make a living. So this was just supposed to be my job for the summer. But, they just lost a worker. And yeah, this isn't something that I need to live. So I'm not like those 30 and 40, 50-year-olds who are working there who try to talk to me any type of way. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. I'm a real respectful person. But when you talk to me any type of way, like you think you could talk to me any type of way and just disrespect me like constantly and bounce me around and basically show me that I'm worthless to you, that's just like, why should I even be there and put in effort in the first place? So that is my, I guess you could say, story time. Not a story time, but this is my Target exposure. Honestly, don't work there, like, or just don't work in California, because they just suck. I don't know if it's the corporation, but I really hated working at Target for that little time that I did, because they were just straight up disrespectful, and that's all I can say. So I hope this was informative to you guys, I guess. I don't want to send the wrong message to anyone. I'm not attacking Target. I'm just saying this was my experience, and that's just how one person feels. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, I guess, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.